This is Sparkles in the building. Today's video is basically about why the female gender feels that marriage is actually a scam. In fact, it's not just the female gender. Why people believe that marriage is a scam. People have a lot of opinion on this. They have a lot to share concerning this. Why they believe that yes, marriage is a scam. Well, guys, I like us to watch these teachers. Let's hear what they have to say concerning this. And when we are done watching, as usual, we'll come back to talk about it and we'll share our opinion on this. Guys, please, let's watch.
Made a post about how women don't benefit from marriage and the incels went crazy. In this video, we're going to go through all the reasons. But let's start here. The consensus from most men in the comments were that women do benefit from marriage through divorce. So they seem to be in agreement that the best part of marriage for women is leaving. If that were true, which it's not, I think that would make my point. Let's go through finances, child custody, and health. Is marriage worth it for women? The benefits mostly go to men. Currently, over 50% of households have a dual income. I read this as women are taking half of their own stuff. In those households, despite a dual income, women are still doing the lion's share of domestic labor and emotional labor. In a divorce, women's income drops on average by 20%. Divorced men see an average of 30% increase in their income. Post-divorce, 20% of women find themselves in poverty compared to 11% of men. Let's talk alimony. Alimony has been gender neutral since 1979. It's the breadwinner who pays. In the 1960s, 25% of men were paying alimony post-divorce. Today, that number is 10%. And I know the math is right here, but I'm going to say it anyway. 90% of marriages end with no alimony whatsoever. 90 to 95% of the time that alimony is paid, it was settled out of court, meaning a judge didn't weigh in and didn't order it. In the cases where a judge orders it, there's a large discrepancy between the spouse's income and assets. Short marriages are less likely to get any alimony. Judges are looking at if one spouse sacrificed their career or potential earnings. And so if they didn't, alimony wouldn't be awarded. Now let's talk child custody. Studies show that when fathers ask for custody, they get it. Conversely, as fathers tend not to ask for custody, they don't get it. Most custody cases are settled out of court. For absolute clarity, most fathers are giving custody to the mothers, not losing custody. Do you see the difference? Now we're going to talk about health, and that will lead me into my last point. Why do women even want to get married if it doesn't benefit them? You know when married women nag their partners? You really going to have that third beer? Babe, I think you need to go get that mole looked at with the doctor. Men seem to hate that. And yet it is the direct reason why married men live longer lives and healthier lives than unmarried men. I've read that men resist marriage because they know that it requires a substantial behavior change on their part. They associate marriage with increased responsibilities and potential financial loss. And yet, those things aren't true. Our culture sets expectations high for women and low for men. Getting married has historically brought...
Some of this lady made mention of situation whereby maybe there's divorce. People believe that, oh, at this point, then the woman tends to benefit more, which in essence means that, oh, if it is during divorce that the woman benefit more, it simply means that marriage does not benefit women. Well, that's what they said. And a lady also made mention of something that in marriage, anything that has to do with the house chores, do a lot of job, home job, work here and there, is mainly the woman. And situation whereby there's maybe a divorce, for instance, now most of the time it's not like the man wanted the children and then the court refused to give him. No, because in most cases when these men tend to seek for child custody, they are granted. But instead, most of them just decide to leave the children for the mother, so that it will help them be productive more, because they don't have any children. That is a kind of drawing them back, like women. Before you take care of kids, before you do this and that for your children, For those of us that have children, we know how it is. It is not easy. In fact, a lot of people tend to sacrifice their career, a lot of things, job and other things, just to take care of children, because we know how precious these children are. Well, guys, let's watch the remaining part of the stitches. When we are done, we'll come back at the end of the video to talk about it. So guys, let's watch.
A large change in how men see themselves and how they behave. If marriage has been a particularly strong signal of change in men's committed behavior, it would explain the stereotype of women pushing for marriage and men resisting. Tell me what you think.
So I just watched a video of a woman talking about her ex-husband and how replaceable women are for men. And I can attest to this. It's crazy. So in my youth, I was raised by the patriarchy, as most of us women are. It wasn't until much later that I understood my worth, but we'll get to that later. So being married, I did everything. I cooked, I cleaned, I set up events, I had the friends, I made the dates. I did everything for this man. Everything. And anytime I asked for help, there was always backlash and an argument. It was a manipulative tactic, and eventually it got into fear tactics, if you know what I'm saying. There was a time where I had this really great job, and then he convinced me to quit it, and then got mad when I was not bringing any money when he asked me to quit my job. There was a point where our money was combined, but we would get allowances every month or week so that I could spend my own money. It was so nuts. Meanwhile, this man's setting up his studio in our house, spending money galore. Our expenses are crazy. Crazy, and that's not for me, because I have anxiety now about spending money because of his manipulative tactic. So to say that the man benefits more than the woman, 100%. I was losing my hair out of anxiety. I was walking on eggshells around this man. When I finally decided to end the marriage, and this is after months of fighting through therapy, we really tried. He grew up in a religious household, so divorce was not really in the picture, but it was in the picture for us. So I finally am like, all right, I'm done with this. This is so toxic. I cannot do this mentally. I'm very ill. Finally, I put myself into therapy because I felt like I was a crazy person, but it was really like a narcissist manipulation tactic, right? So get out of the marriage. A month out of that, he already has a new girlfriend. Trades in one for the other, right? This person has a rough background, so she's can put up with his BS. I'm learning my own worth at this point, which is why I'm finally like, I'm done. I can't be in this. I cannot be in this for years and years and years with a person who doesn't even value me as a person. There's no way. That's clearly, you need somebody else for that. But it's not going to be me, and I feel so bad for this woman. Because that just shows her walk in life, right? A month into us separating, the divorce papers haven't even been drafted yet. 2 months later, he already has this woman pregnant. Like, if it's not, they're not married yet. Even to this day. This was 4 or 5 years later. They're not married. Nope. But I bet you he's dangling that carrot. Because he wants to keep her, right? And that's an interesting space to be in. Now you have kids, and you're dangling the carrot of marriage to get her to stay. Manipulation, right? And I asked him before we signed the divorce papers, and I never talked to him again. Why did you ask me to get married? Like, why did you want to marry me? Such a weird thing for someone like just to want and to push. Why? And he was like, oh, I don't know. He knew. He knew that he wanted me to take care of him. He had severe mother trauma. He wanted someone to take care of him, do everything for him, and he wanted someone he thought he could manipulate. And early on in our dating, yeah, I was a little bit more malleable. But as we got older and I had to fight for my literal well-being and health. That was not the same woman, and he needed to trade me out. So it's interesting how it benefits men over women. I don't know if I'll ever get married again. I would sign a prenup. I would do a prenuptial agreement with my long-term partner. But I don't know if I would ever get legally married, because there's just something that switches in the male brain afterwards where they just feel very entitled to that person, where when they already feel territorial when you're dating them. So then having that legal document, like, oh, because literally in the subconscious of every male, back in the day before women had rights, a marriage document was that you were their property. It literally was. So I'm good on that. I am a feminine woman ready for my masculine man, but I do not need to have a marriage document in order to prove that. So there's that. And I just am so grateful that more women are becoming aware of their worth and their power, because hopefully that will help fight the patriarchal indoctrination of how men treat women. That's my TED Talk.
In all of this, why I agree with what some of these ladies are saying, especially the lady that talk about how women seems to be very replaceable to the men. You see that sometimes a man will divorce, or maybe the man and the woman divorce. It won't even take twinkle of an eye. You see that the man has already moved on, got married, and stuff. Why the women tend to take it slow. But the funny thing is that most of these men simply believe that it's because the woman did not see somebody that wants them. Like the woman, nobody is coming for the woman, that is why. But that isn't the fact. That isn't true. Women seems to be more attached. Like before they move on, they like to, be prepared. It's not like some of these men who just jump into a relationship. It's not like because they love the person, but because they just see the need to move on fast. At the end of the day, maybe the woman that they are with later tend to suffer the consequences, because they didn't really rush to those women because they love them, but because they just want to move on, because they are known to move on fast. So what I don't really agree totally with is the fact that marriage is a scam. For me, I don't see marriage as a scam. It all depends on who you are married to. Everybody don't think alike. All men don't think alike. All women don't think alike. So personally, I would say yes, marriage might be very hard for women, especially how they expect a lot from women. The society expects too much from women. Do this, do that, do this, and they don't give the same energy to the men. Like, do this for your marriage to work, do this for your, but instead they focus on women as if it is just the woman alone that will make the marriage work. The truth is, if the man doesn't work hard for the marriage to work, it will be very difficult for it to work, because it takes two to tango. So that aspect of it is what I don't really like. But when you are married to someone who is sensible, you as a woman, you are sensible, the man is sensible, you both are not perfect, but along the line, you see that the marriage will go on well. And going by the fact that God actually created marriage, I don't think God himself will create something that will be scam for his creation. Though humans tend to be behaving anyhow, fine and good, but in general, I won't say marriage is a scam, because sometimes women tend to benefit at the end of the day, while in the other hand, men tend to benefit at the end of the day. Like what one of the ladies said, that you find out that most men, they hardly want to even go to the hospital when they are sick, but because of the fact that they have a wife, that wife might tend to drag them, oh yeah, go to the hospital, it's time for you to go to the hospital, which makes married men tend to live long, except for health issue that is beyond their control, and mainly for the lifestyle that they choose. That will determine how long the man will live. So, of a truth, I would say that it's both ways. I won't say it is scam, but in some cases it favors the men more than the women, because you will hardly see a situation whereby a man will give up his career for marriage, but in most cases women will do that. Women will stay for years without working just to take care of the children. By the time the children grows up, the woman wants to do something, she is already growing weak and old. So in a nutshell, why I agree with them somehow, I am of the opinion that it is not generally a scam, but it all depends on what you make of it. Well guys, this will be the end of the video. I'd like you all to share your opinion. Do you think marriage is a scam? As a woman, do you think marriage is a scam? Then as a guy, do you think marriage is a scam? Well, I'd like you all to share your opinion right here in the comment section. And if you've watched me up to this very moment and you've still not subscribed, I honestly don't know what you're waiting for. Please do subscribe, give my video a thumbs up, and if it's possible, turn on the notification bell so that anytime I post a video, you will see it. I am Tracy Sparkles, and right now I'm going to be signing out. See you guys in my next video. Bye.